What's up, Internet? Welcome back. It is the morning after, and we're going to talk more about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. until there's more TV shows coming back. Again, if you're new, the morning after is exactly this episode of a great show that's nerdy or whatever, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came on last night, and this video, I'm recording it right after I watch and uploading it the morning after so you guys can watch and maybe learn on something that you did not know when you were watching, or just figure out what happened during the show. And I did a little bit of analysis before I made this video, and there's a little bit to talk about this episode. I actually don't really know where I want to start with, but I think what most people will want to know right away, as I'm looking for cuts on my hand for no reason, there's no cuts, I'm fine, is who the heck is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D.? So, with this episode, we finally get a little bit more information. We get to see his face. We already know that it's Jason O'Mara that's playing the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., but we really don't know who he is. And we got a little bit of a hint today, or last night, with the episode. Uh, when we first get greeted or introduced to Jason O'Mara's character, Coulson slips in the name Jeffrey. So we know that this character's name is Jeffrey. Now, off the top of my head, I don't know any Marvel superhero heroes or characters named Jeff. So what we already know going in is that this character that is played by Jason O'Mara has a very close Captain America tie in the comic books, not in the movies, but specifically the comic books. So what I did is all I did was go to Google search Marvel characters Jeff, because literally I don't know any. So the character that most people are leaning towards, and I'm going to lean towards as well, is coming up as Patriot, or Jeffrey Mace. So who is that? Now, I'm sitting here reading up on him like, oh yeah, that guy, I remember. So again, this is going back to Captain America's history in the comic books, and I mean actual way back history, because I wasn't even born yet. Jeff Mace, or the Patriot, was a character that was around in a weird time where Captain America wasn't around, but he still was. In comic books, they have something called a retcon, or what is really called is what it is that they retroactively go back to a history or a character's history, and or just change the history of the entire universe, or the a character's origin or something like that going forward. So they'll say, like they did this with Wolverine, saying that his name is James Howlett, which he existed in all of our knowledge for 20, 30 years, and then they finally gave him a name, saying, oh yeah, his name's been James Howlett this whole time. So in this case, Captain America was a character in the 1940s that fought the Nazis. He fought Hitler and Red Skull and Hydra and all of that, and got frozen in water, came back in the 1960s, and if you're following the movies, he came back in modern day. But it skipped from the 40s to the 60s of Steve Rogers. However, in the 1950s, there were still comic books for Captain America written, and that Captain America was not Steve Rogers. I believe it was at the time, but Marvel went retroactively back. They did a retcon and said that was not Steve Rogers in the 1950s as Captain America. That was Jeff Mace, or Patriot. It was another character, another person in a Captain America costume fighting as Captain America, but it was not Steve Rogers. And that is what I believe this character is in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He is a powered being. He has powers. He is inhuman, is what they're saying in the show, even though the actual character Jeff Mace is not an inhuman. But go along with it, even Daisy Johnson in the comic books originally was a mutant. But because she debuted in Avengers comic books, she debuted with Brian Michael Bendis, I believe, as the creator. She was not a debut in the X-Men comic books. That's why Fox does not have rights to her. But because Marvel can't use the word mutant, they can't use that phrase at all because Fox owns it. That's why the Inhumans are something that they're pushing very heavily. And with Daisy Johnson, and now with Jeff Mace, who I believe is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., he's an Inhuman, and that's what we have on this show. So we see at the end of the show how he's handling May, that he's able to take her blows no problem. He's getting hit by, pipes and 2x4s or whatever, and it's not an issue. He has enhanced strength, he has enhanced durability. He's basically Captain America, but an Inhuman and the public face for S.H.I.E.L.D. And that's what most of this episode had to do on his part, is dealing with all of those dignitaries that are coming in and trying to analyze what is S.H.I.E.L.D., what are you about, should we give you money, is this a good program? And he's trying to use Coulson and all of his inside knowledge of how S.H.I.E.L.D. works to appeal to these dignitaries. What is going on with Ghost Rider and what is going on with Daisy? I actually saw some really interesting art on Twitter. I wish I saved that. I would love to share it, but it was a really great split drawing of how we're comparing Ghost Rider and Daisy, and just how they're really bouncing off of each other. I liked it during the episode. Uh, Robbie was saying that Daisy is trying to use penance, and that's just a reference, a term to the Ghost Rider penance stare, which is something that we're not really sure we're gonna see in Robbie Reyes' version, because even the comic book version of Robbie Reyes has not used the penance stare yet. But so we don't know if he can do it. So we don't know if we're gonna get that in the TV show. But it is a Ghost Rider reference. It was a nice little Easter egg that I picked up there. I hope you guys that are fans have probably picked that up as well. But it is something. Daisy is trying to basically be Ghost Rider, but not. She's doing it on her own, and he's like he caught a whiff of that. He's trying to uh, punish those who've done wrong, but she's still, she's just feeling bad for what she's done herself, and that's all the stuff with Hive and how she hurt other people. So the other big thing is we're trying to figure out what's going on is what are these ghosts and what are they doing? Who are they really? Now I haven't read the Ghost Rider run, the current stuff with Robbie Reyes, so I don't know if any of these characters are relevant to that current run. However, I don't think it's all that important. What is important is what they mentioned. So they were talking about a book, and they did say specifically it was the Darkhold. And I did a quick little research on that, and the Darkhold is a book of mystical powers. It is a magic book. It is a book that if you are a Evil Dead Army of Darkness fan, think Necronomicon. Fun fact: Marvel has a Necronomicon, but it is actually derived from pages of the Darkhold. So the Darkhold is kind of like the book of evil magic in the Marvel universe. And in fact, Marvel Wikia said that it is the antithesis of the Book of the Vishanti, which means it is the opposite of the same book that Doctor Strange uses. The Doctor Strange uses the Book of the Vishanti, and the Darkhold is the exact opposite of it. And the users of the Darkhold tend to be drawn to it, and they tend to be sucked in by it. That they can't help themselves. Or they are overpowered by it. Only very powerful beings like Doctor Strange are able to use the Darkhold and not be affected by it. So weak individuals like you and I, or any normal person, if we were able to get the Darkhold, we would not be able to overcome its draw to us, and it would basically take control of us. So these four characters, these four ghosts, use the Darkhold, but they said that person, there was an additional person that did them wrong. That person is Robbie Reyes. That person is Ghost Rider, and he's the one that came out with the demon inside of him, the devil inside of him. But it came at the expense of these other people and what they had going on. So I don't know a whole lot of detail about all of that. We're going to find out those details soon. But that is the origin of these ghosts. These four characters and Robbie Reyes were using the Darkhold, and something happened where these four characters were presumably killed because they're ghosts now. and now they were imprisoned in those boxes, and Robbie Reyes became Ghost Rider somehow. So we'll figure that out very soon. And we also saw Robbie killed one of them, so one of them is completely gone, and that Ghost Rider has that power. So he used his Hellfire, which is an actual fire. It is a magical fire and a physical fire that burns heat, and it burns your soul, and it completely killed that ghost. And we're going to see a lot more of that continuing on in the coming weeks of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We had another pretty decent episode. Last week was a little better, but we're getting more into Robbie Reyes and figuring out what's going on, and continuing on with Daisy and learning more about this new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, what do you guys think of this Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. director, of presumably Patriot Jeff Mace, the former Captain America, how they're going to spin that out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or in the TV universe at least? Do you think it's someone else? Just let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas. And just more stuff, anything else that I missed in this video, just let me know. Just shoot in the comments and we can talk about it. I'm Ninja Turtle for Blurdy.com. I'm going to be at TwitchCon this weekend. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in San Diego. So I'm going to be a little busy with a whole bunch of stuff, and I hope to bring back a bunch of pictures and a bunch of videos, maybe some interviews. I'm not sure exactly. I might not do any of that. I might just take it all in, because it's going to be a really big fun and learning experience for me. And I am going to just soak in as much as possible. Next week, I will try to do another the morning after video on the next episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Luke Cage is dropping this Friday, so I'm not going to be able to watch Luke Cage like I would like to, because I would normally just binge it and then have a review for you. So I'm not going to be able to watch it. Maybe I can watch it while I'm in San Diego, but not watch it to the capacity that I like to. So it might be a week or two before I finish that show and send up a video review for you guys to let you know how it is. But the reviews are early in, and that it is an excellent show, so don't wait for me. Just go ahead and do your Netflix thing and start watching Luke Cage on Friday. You're better than me, because you're going to get to be able to watch it before I do. Until next time, until the next video, I don't have any schedule for the rest of the week. However, again, TwitchCon, and then the next Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. next week. I will see you guys next time.